The world's strongest evil noble diligently and humbly strives. Book edition. The evil noble dominates with humility and diligence, using original story knowledge and his unique magic, Void, to avoid a ruinous ending. Tsukishima Shuichi. Chapter 1. Episode 1. Reincarnated as the villain. While eating lunch, I suddenly remembered. This was a fantasy world inside a game, and I wasn't the protagonist. I was the villainous noble Hollow von Heisenberg. The outrageous truth settled into my mind with shocking ease.
This is bad.
If my knowledge of the original story is correct, this villainous noble Hollow. Just as I was thinking that far, the maid serving me bowed deeply in panic.
My deepest apologies. I will remake it at once to suit Lord Hollow's tastes. Please forgive me.
Her face clouded with despair as she bowed again and again.
No, that's not what I meant by bad. Your cooking is delicious, Sisty.
You remember someone like me by name. And you're speaking politely to me?
Damn, that might have been careless. Remembering a maid's name. Using polite language toward her. Both were things the original Hollow would never do.
I must fetch the master at once.
Face pale, Sisty rushed toward the door.
Wait. Calm down. I'm perfectly norm.
I? You said I.
Right. Hollow's first-person pronoun was or, not boku.
I'm perfectly normal. There's nothing to report to, Father. Understood?
Yes, sir.
She bowed politely. With the commotion temporarily settled, I resumed my interrupted meal. I wasn't in the mood to eat at all, but leaving it untouched would only invite suspicion. And more importantly, I didn't want the food to go to waste.
By the way, Sisty, what's today's date?
March 5th. Holy calendar year, 1009.
I see.
Hollow was born October 10th, 1000. He hadn't had his birthday yet, so this body was currently 8 years old. The earliest Hollow dies in the original story is at 10.
I still had 2 years.
First, calm down. Organize the situation. After finishing lunch, I stood.
I need to think. Don't let anyone enter my room.
Are you feeling unwell after all?
I'm fine. Continue your duties as usual.
Yes, sir.
She bowed, though clearly unconvinced. I have to use or. No honorifics toward subordinates. This will be tough, but I need consistency. Leaving the dining room, I returned to my chamber. The chamber was small, sparsely furnished, and smelled faintly of lavender. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the ceiling. The weight of the situation pressed down on me. I had to think quickly. Everyone's the protagonist. No mob characters, was its slogan. Every character had individual routes. The number of endings was astronomical. Did I die in the real world, or did my soul transfer while I was still alive? Well, either way was fine. I had no regrets about reality. My parents died when I was young. I was alone. To me, Ronzolquia was the real world. If asked whether I was happy about this, the answer would be yes. The excitement welling up inside me was overwhelming. But let me say this.
Why of all people did I have to be Hollow?
Hollow von Heisenberg. A genuine genius blessed in swordsmanship, magic, and academics. But lazy and arrogant. Drunk on his own talent, he neglects effort and is defeated by the protagonist, and not just in one route. In every route, Hollow dies, a walking death flag. And I had reincarnated as him.
At this rate, I'm doomed. I'll be killed by this scripted destiny. Calm down. Think. My top priority is survival.
The original Hollow was practically cursed by the world. Countless trials would try to kill me. But I have knowledge of the original story. I loved Ronzolquia. I poured my youth into it. I didn't clear every single route, but I completed most major ones. I knew how Hollow dies. I'll break every death flag with story knowledge, avoid countless bad endings, and enjoy this beautiful world.
To do that, I have to work hard, humbly and diligently, and become strong.
This was a sword and magic fantasy world. To survive here required overwhelming individual power. Fortunately, Hollow possessed the strongest aptitude. Ironically, his innate laziness ensured he died before ever reaching his potential. I would not repeat that mistake.
For now, status.
I tried to check my initial stats. Nothing appeared. Then skills, no window. I see. No visible status or skill system meant the game's standard leveling mechanics didn't apply. Defeat enemies, gain EXP, level up assigned skill points. That system was gone. So how did one grow stronger? Most likely through mastery and proficiency. Fine. I'd figure out the mechanics during training. The real question was which path to take. Ronzolquia had over 100 classes: knight, thief, priest, ranger, necromancer, tamer, merchant, explorer. But what I needed was simple power.
Then it's swordsman and mage.
Master both base classes, aim for the advanced class. Magic swordsman. No gimmicks. A pure combat build.
Which first?
Eventually both, but focusing on one first was more efficient. The baptism ritual was held at age 10. I still had over a year. Sword first. Luckily, the Heisenberg household employed a master swordsman, the head butler, Orvin Dankelert, top tier even in-game. He should be pruning the garden around this time. On my way to find him, I paused before a full-length mirror. It really is hollow. 8 years old. Red, medium-length hair tied in back, about 135 centimeters tall. Lean physique. Crimson eyes like jewels. The original Hollow really did have a good face. Shame about the personality. I stepped outside and soon spotted Orvin trimming trees. He was 63, 185 centimeters tall, muscular despite his age, white hair and beard immaculate.
Orvin, may I have a word?
Young master, what is it?
I have a request. Teach me the sword.
What?
Young master. Asking rather than commanding.
Right. Hollow never asked.
Teach me.
Very well. But why this sudden change?
Whim.
He accepted that instantly. We moved to the training yard. 3 minutes later,
Impossible.
I sheathed my sword calmly. Orvin was on all fours. Hollow's specs are absurd. Overwhelming magic power. Overwhelming physical strength. A demonic intellect. In pure technique, Orvin surpassed me. But raw stats crushed skill. Still, this kind of false victory breeds arrogance. That's what made the original Hollow tragic. A genius who doesn't strive loses to a striver, but a striving genius becomes invincible. A year passed. Under Orvin's instruction, I trained relentlessly. Finally, the day came. No magic enhancement. Pure swordsmanship. Steel clashed. We exchanged blows. He lunged. I deflected and countered. The duel escalated. Finally,
There.
a flaw appeared.
I struck. Not yet.
He sacrificed his left arm to force a counterattack. Blood, bone cracking. His blade came for me. But I knew his personality. He was fiercely competitive.
I parried and disarmed him. My win.
Yes. Splendidly done.
Pure swordsmanship. No magic.
To surpass me in 1 year. As expected of you.
Of course.
I answered coolly, but he likely understood my gratitude.
Now then, I have one final task. Goodbye, Lord Hollow.
His words faded into the wind. The duel had ended. The era of Hollow had begun. Episode 2. Chief Butler Olvin's Work Log. Holy Calendar 1009, March 4th, rain. Another maid quit today. It seems she was subjected to harsh bullying by that utterly hopeless, good-for-nothing Sun Lord Hollow. She submitted her resignation in tears. The food is terrible. Your face is unpleasant. You lack attentiveness. The young master's arrogance only grows worse by the day. Why does the master refuse to scold that foolish son of his? It is beyond my understanding. If only Lady Layla were still in good health, things would never have come to this. Lady Layla was the son of the Heisenberg family. Ever since the day she collapsed, the gears of this house have been thrown out of alignment. I still regret it. Why did we allow her to go alone to subjugate the Sky Devourer? Even if I had to defy orders, no. Even if I had to beg, I should have accompanied her. I will regret that foolish decision for the rest of my life. Holy Calendar 1009, March 5th, clear. That ill-natured, worthless fool of a Sun Lord Hollow submitted his report. The young master's arrogance only grows worse by the day. Why does the master refuse to scold that foolish son of his? It is beyond my understanding. If only Lady Layla were still in good health, things would never have come to this. Lady Layla was the son of the Heisenberg family. Ever since the day she collapsed, the gears of this house have been thrown out of alignment. I still regret it. Why did we allow her to go alone to subjugate the Sky Devourer? Even if I had to defy orders, no. Even if I had to beg, I should have accompanied her. I will regret that foolish decision for the rest of my life. A sword is a delicate weapon. One must read the surface of the stone precisely and cut at the proper angle or else the blade chips. Lady Layla, the sword saint, accomplished rock cleaving only a month after first taking up the sword, if Lord Hollow attempted it. Perhaps even sooner, as I demonstrated. He nodded and split the rock in a single stroke, as if slicing tofu. The cross-section was horrifyingly smooth, so flawless it resembled crystal. Overcome by excitement, I brought him to the largest boulder on the mountain, the Gallon Jewel. Though forbidden during training, I permitted him to use magic for a serious test slash. The result was shocking. Not only was the Gallon Jewel split in two, the mountain behind it was cleaved as well. The master's magical power, the lady's physical strength, it is as though a god dwells within Lord Hollow's body. My heart danced. How strong will he become? I want to witness the end of his path. Holy Calendar 1010, March 6th, sunny. It has been roughly a year since I last wrote. During this time, I spent my days training with Lord Hollow. He has changed. He became sincere toward his sword. His innate sloth and arrogance subsided. He trained with humility and diligence. I, too, swung my blade with renewed purpose. The once monotonous days gained tension. The sepia-toned world regained vivid color. I even wished this time might continue forever. But such is not to be. Tomorrow I will likely be defeated. I am certain of it. In but 1 year, Lord Hollow has grown beyond recognition. Ordinary swordsmen would no longer suffice as opponents. Spirit, stamina, physical might, there is divinity in his body. For now, I forbid him from enhancing himself with magic, so he may focus purely on swordsmanship. But if magic were added, the thought alone sets my heart ablaze. I have already prepared my resignation. He stands on the threshold of becoming the strongest. There is nothing left that someone of my skill can teach him. I resolved to step aside. In truth, I simply lacked discernment. What I took a year ago for corruption was merely a rebellious phase. A bit excessive, perhaps, but boys are like that. It angers me more that we failed him. Why did we not scold him properly? Why did we not face him directly? Why did we not stand at his level? As chief butler, I am ashamed. Lord Hollow will surely become a magnificent lord. He is strict with himself, considerate toward the maids. Though his speech remains harsh, it now carries genuine affection. 40 years I have served the Heisenberg family. This shall be my final entry in this log. These pages where I foolishly slandered Lord Hollow shall remain as a mark of shame. No, as the most glorious period of my life. To be honest, this year with Lord Hollow was joyous beyond words. It brought me closer to the essence of the sword. It reminded me of my youth. Hot blood flowed once more through these withered old bones. Let it be written again. This year was supreme. Thank you, Lord Hollow, and farewell. Chief Butler, Olvin Dankelt. March 7th, 1010. Clear. I take up my pen once more in shame. As expected, I was defeated. A pure loss in swordsmanship. Yet strangely, I felt no regret. Only clarity. The sword I polished my entire life has been inherited by Lord Hollow. He will carry it to even greater heights. For a swordsman, there is no greater happiness. As I went to submit my resignation,
Oi, what time tomorrow?
Lord Hollow invited me to train again. He had seen through everything. He knew I intended to leave. And instead of wounding my old pride, he simply asked,
What time tomorrow?
how subtle, how considerate. I am convinced. Lord Hollow is destined to become the next king. I swear eternal loyalty until this body crumbles. Episode 3, The Rite of Baptism. After studying under Mr. Olvin, I realized something. Swordsmanship is awesome. The extraordinary feeling of swinging a sword. The smooth sensation when it cuts. The tangible sense of improvement day by day. Every part of it is the best. But fun times pass in the blink of an eye, and before I knew it, a whole year had gone by. I really want to devote myself to swordsmanship more, but I have acquired the minimum skill required of a swordsman, so it is probably time to move on to the next step. Oh right, I am 9 years old now, and my height has grown to 140 centimeters, growing 5 centimeters in just 1 year. Long live growth spurts. It is about time. The time is 12:55. Waiting in my room, I stand up from my chair and stretch wide. Today is the long-awaited rite of baptism. In the world of Ronzolquia, In the year one turns 10, one's magic capacity, magical aptitude, and unique magic are examined. Normally, this rite is performed at a temple. In my case, however, it is a bit irregular. If things follow the original story, then this body should possess that unique magic. In the original work, Hollow's unique magic is among the most abnormal powers in the story. After all, it is the same magic used by the great archmage of 1,000 years ago, Calamity Zeno. If that were revealed in a public place like a temple, it would cause absolute chaos. So instead, we invited a certain adjudicator to the mansion to conduct the ritual here. Ordinarily, such a request would never be permitted. But this is the Heisenberg family, one of the 4 great nobles. With a single word from my father, even the stubborn Ministry of Magic says, yes, gladly. The power is absurd.
Lord Hollow, the adjudicator has arrived.
Enter.
Yes, sir.
The door opened silently, and a fair-skinned woman stepped inside. Then I shall take my leave. Having completed his duty as escort, Mr. Olven bowed politely and closed the door.
Nice to meet you. My name is Fiona Sater.
Fiona Sater, 18 years old. The youngest person ever to enter the Ministry of Magic, a genius mage. She is 160 centimeters tall, slender yet feminine. Her beautiful black hair, tied in a ponytail, reaches down her back. She has large light purple eyes and snow-white skin. She wears a white jacket over a black shirt and a simple black miniskirt. At first glance, she looks like a pure and refined beauty, but inside, she is somewhat questionable.
I am Hollow von Heisenberg.
If I suddenly acted humble and earnest now, that would only arouse suspicion.
First, I will measure your magic capacity.
Fiona took out a small stone. This is a resonance stone, a special magic crystal that absorbs surrounding mana and displays a unique reaction. Based on that phenomenon, we can estimate magic capacity. Please hold it between your fingers.
I know how it works. Hand it over.
Yes.
Her neatly shaped eyebrows twitched. Being interrupted and ordered around by a child clearly irritated her. That reaction is completely justified, but to stay true to Hollow's character, I have no choice. Apologizing silently in my heart, I pinched the stone between my thumb and index finger and applied slight pressure. It shattered with a sharp crack. Silver fragments scattered through the air, and as I felt my mana being drawn out, the stone reacted.
This is...
A muddy black color rose around me. It was as if every ill omen in existence had taken form. Mana that embodied Hollow von Heisenberg's malign nature swirled violently around me.
Well, the result?
It is tremendous. The highest I have ever measured. And such dreadful mana. Next came magical aptitude. Please place this ring on each of the 5 fingers of your right hand.
I did as told. Each ring contained a magic crystal representing one of the 5 great elements: fire, water, lightning, wood, and earth. Channel mana into them, and those with aptitude will glow. This method is called the 5-finger appraisal.
Close your eyes and concentrate mana into your right hand.
I complied. After a few seconds, I opened my eyes.
Oh, elemental aptitude! That cannot be!
Fiona's eyes widened in shock. But for Hollow, that much is natural. The real test starts now.
Stop gawking. Begin the rite.
Well, yes.
Measuring capacity and aptitude were merely preliminaries. The main event is the appraisal of unique magic.
Summon.
Fiona cast her spell, and a simple ritual site appeared in the center of the room. 4 pillars stood at the corners, and in the center sat a large statue of a goddess. I stepped forward and placed my right hand against the statue's right hand, channeling mana into it. The next instant, cracks spread across the statue, and it shattered into pieces. Silver fragments floated in the air before vanishing as if swallowed by another world.
This reaction, it cannot be!
Fiona frantically flipped through an ancient tome, then looked up, eyes glistening with obsession.
What is it? Unique magic. Void.
Jackpot. Just like in the original story, this body possessed the strongest unique magic. As I clenched my fist, Fiona hugged the tome and began spinning in delight.
Incredible origin class! The first of its kind in centuries! The power of the void itself!
The final narration about reporting the magic as refraction is narration. At first she refused, citing the kingdom constitution and her pride as an adjudicator. So I made a deal.
If you keep it secret, I will let you research Void.
I accept. I will tell no one.
Her principles vanished instantly. We signed a contract on parchment. If broken, divine judgment means immediate death. Thus, Void would remain hidden for about 2 years until the dangerous cult known as the Grand Magic Order left the royal capital. After that, I began studying magic in earnest, and I realized something.
Magic is awesome!
Draw the formula and fire ignites. Circulate mana and water flows. Channel lightning and it crackles in your veins. With only a month of study, I could use all 5 elements and even some advanced spells. Fiona was stunned. Normally it would take years to reach this level. But this is only the beginning. Unique magic has no spellbooks. That is both its strength and weakness. It is categorized into 4 ranks: Elite, Epic, Legend, and Origin. Void belongs to the highest, Origin class. Still, I have knowledge from the original story. The first technique I must master is Void Possession. Under Fiona's guidance, a year passed quickly. On the final day of her long leave, I took her by carriage to Mount Geran, owned by the Heisenberg family.
This spot will do. Void transfer.
In the next instant, the lush green mountain vanished. More precisely, it was swallowed by the void. Void transfer sends a designated space into the void. The power was satisfactory, though the coordinate precision could improve. As I reviewed the spell, Fiona collapsed onto the ground. With a single spell, the map itself had changed. Such was the power of Void. Episode 4, Inspector Fiona's Diary. Holy Calendar 1010, March 10th.
I was working in the research wing as usual when I was suddenly summoned by my demon boss.
Could it be that she found out I stole money from the Ministry of Magic? With a gloomy feeling, I headed to her laboratory.
As it turned out, I had apparently been called to the residence of Lord Heisenberg. A named request had come in for the rite of baptism.
Oh, why me?
I have nothing to do with that evil noble Heisenberg family. Honestly, I really do not want to go. I do not want to go.
I do not want to go. Do not want to go. Do not want to go. I absolutely do not want to go. I tried clinging to my demon boss and begging. Did not work.
The Heisenberg family is one of the 4 great nobles. They have enormous influence over the Ministry of Magic. And if we refuse their request, there is no telling what kind of harassment we might suffer. Or so she said. And you're sending your cute subordinate to such fiends? That boss really is a demon.
That is why she missed her marriage window.
When I tried making a scene to force her hand, she threatened me. If you disobey orders, shall I charge you with embezzlement?
Cold sweat poured down my back as I played dumb and said, I have no idea what you mean. She replied, the research budget. Thank goodness. It seems she still has not found out about the safety deposit box.
Anyway, that is how I ended up being shipped off to the evil nobles. No. In the first place, I hate noble.
They're always arrogant and unnecessarily high and mighty.
Especially this hollow von Heisenberg. From what I have heard, he is a brat who embodies sloth and arrogance.
Sigh. I do not want to go. I just want to hole up in my lab and research my beloved magic. And while I am at it, drink alcohol and watch horse racing through a magic crystal.
An old wise man once said, if you work, you lose.
Holy Calendar 1010, March 20.
Today I went to the Heisenberg estate. After arriving at the absurdly huge mansion, I was guided by a refined elderly gentleman to the private room of the heir apparent, Hollow von Heisenberg. He was an incredibly arrogant little brat. Even though I am older, he did not use a single polite expression. I considered giving his unnecessarily handsome face a big sister chop. But if I did that, I would probably be erased by the Heisenberg family. So I endured it with a muffled growl.
I immediately measured that unbearably cheeky fool son's magic power and aptitude.
and I was absolutely stunned.
Hollow von Motzenberg was a genius.
Overwhelming magic power, plus all attribute aptitude, and above all, the unique magic void.
I heard this later from a colleague at the ministry.
Apparently, Hollow is an outrageous thoroughbred. His father, Daphnis von Heisenberg, is a genius mage with a unique magic illusion. His mother, Leila Toa Heisenberg, is the greatest swordmaster in the kingdom.
And born from those two is Hollow von Heisenberg.
What kind of combination is that? It is like the strongest human ever imagined.
Oh, right. Just in case, I will not write too many details in this diary, but I made a certain contract with Hollow. The ministry's management is pretty sloppy, so it should not be discovered. And even if it is, I can just apologize and claim it was a mistake in my appraisal. Anyway, today was the best day of my life. I obtained the right to research Void. I should hurry and finish all the work piling up.
Holy Calendar 1010, April 20th.
I got bogged down in troublesome work and an entire month passed. I am a bit late, but it is fine. I took a full year of long leave, so now I can devote myself to researching Void. I went to the Heisenberg estate first thing in the morning and met the arrogant genius boy, Hollow. I wanted to start research immediately, but unique magic, especially Void, is dangerous. Without minimum magical skill, there is a risk of it running wild. I did not want to waste such a rare Void factor. So I asked to confirm that Hollow had at least basic magical ability. And once again, I was shocked. In just 1 month, he had acquired extremely high-level magical skill. His spell construction speed is abnormal, and his mana control is astonishingly precise. What kind of absorption rate is that? Even Cotton would be shocked. However, one thing bothers me. Why has Hollow only been learning defensive magic? Normally, especially talented mages gravitate toward attack magic. Attack magic is flashy and fun to learn, but Hollow is different. He ignored attack magic and focused entirely on defense. Given his arrogant personality, I would expect him to pursue offense. Well, I suppose everyone has their preferences. After a brief lecture, I had him begin training Void, and I was left speechless. Void is insane. 100 times more insane than I imagined. Its offensive power is terrifying. Void mana annihilates all things, just as the ancient texts said. Before that magic, all matter is denied existence. Water, earth, air, living or non-living, everything is swallowed. 1,000 years ago, the Calamity Zeno used this power to plunge the world into chaos. To be able to research the strongest and worst magic at such close range, I am truly blessed. Holy Calendar, 1010, May 20. It has been 1 month since beginning Void research. Hollow's training is honestly very plain. Repetition and review, 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. But he does it at ultra-high speed, so in effect he progresses explosively. This is nothing like the rumors. According to my colleagues, although gifted with genius talent, Hollow lives a lazy and arrogant life. He is arrogant, that much is true. Unbelievably haughty and foul-mouthed. But at least regarding magic, regarding becoming stronger, he is sincere. He advances step by step without arrogance. If I had to describe it in one phrase, it would be humble and steady. Today again, Hollow is polishing Void's defensive aspect. I almost want to shout. Why not polish the offensive side? With such overwhelming destructive power, why not develop your strengths? I had been wondering that for a month, but today I finally understood why he focused on defense. He asked me to attack him with my unique magic, Hydra's ancient venom. After much argument and a formal contract to guarantee my safety, I attacked with my strongest spell. It was perfectly blocked. No, erased. He used Void Possession, a thin membrane of Void around his body that sends all attacks to the Void realm. He plans to eventually make it a perfect automatic defense. This child is terrifying. He has not even studied magic for a year, and yet he is mastering Void as if following a manual. Holy Calendar 1011, April 20th. Time flies. A year has passed. He continues polishing Void's defense. I could not gather much offensive data, but I gathered priceless defensive data. Through this year, I learned something else. Though arrogant, he never crosses certain lines. Sometimes he even shows consideration. Perhaps he is kinder than he appears. On the last day of my leave, he said he would show me something interesting and took me to the mountains owned by the Heisenberg family. He stretched out his right hand. In the next moment, The mountain vanished, completely. A child who studied magic for 1 year altered the terrain with a single spell, and yet he was dissatisfied, muttering that the construction was rough. I was moved. The beauty, the grandeur, the terror of void. Void, 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 void. My mind was filled entirely with void. I wondered if I could stay by his side. Perhaps I could ask Lord Heisenberg to hire me as a tutor. When I returned home, men in black suits were waiting. They were officials of the Klein Kingdom. My embezzlement had been discovered. The total amount I secretly took was 50 million gold. I was ordered to repay it within 1 week. Impossible. After thinking desperately, a brilliant idea struck me. Borrow from loan sharks and bet everything on the Klein Kingdom Cup horse race. Holy Calendar 101. April 30th. It is over. My entire fortune vanished like foam. While drowning in cheap alcohol, there was a knock at my door. It was Hollow. He listened quietly. He comforted me gently. And he offered to lend me the exact amount of my debt, interest-free, until I succeed. He even offered to hire me as his tutor and magic researcher. Is he a god? I swore eternal loyalty, though for just a fleeting instant, I thought I saw a wicked expression on his face as he left. But that must be my imagination. Still, I wonder how my embezzlement was exposed. They said it was due to an anonymous report. Surely not. Episode 5, The Forbidden Archive. And so, I poached Fiona from the Ministry of Magic. Her personality may be trash, but her abilities are genuinely outstanding. While I was thinking about how to headhunt her somehow, my wicked hollow brain instantly came up with a brilliant plan. In short, I tipped off the Ministry of Magic about Fiona embezzling funds. Her crime would inevitably come to light as the main route progressed. That was a fixed event determined by the destiny scenario. If she was going to be exposed anyway, it was better for it to happen while the crime was still relatively minor. Based on my anonymous report, an investigation was conducted, and Fiona's embezzlement was uncovered. The ministry demanded immediate repayment and informed her that if she failed to reimburse the full amount within 1 week, she would be handed over to the appropriate authorities. After receiving the final notice, Fiona borrowed money from anyone and everyone she could and headed to the Royal Capital racetrack. I had a bad feeling about it. And of course, I was right. She bet everything on a single long shot to win. I have to admit, she has guts. Out of curiosity, I watched the race. She was utterly crushed.
Why? How could this happen?
Without caring who saw her, Fiona wept massive tears. It was the first time I had ever seen a human melt into a puddle. The racetrack guards tried to console her gently, but that sight was more heartbreaking than any film. Having lost her money, her job, her hope, her credibility, and her future, she bought cheap liquor and returned to her run-down apartment. People are easiest to sway when they are at their weakest. Judging the time was right, I visited her and proposed a certain deal. Fiona, I have a good offer for you.
Oh, what is it?
Work for the Heisenberg family as my private tutor and magic researcher. In return, I will lend you 60 million gold, interest-free until you succeed.
Really?
50 million gold she embezzled plus 10 million borrowed from loan sharks. 60 million gold in total is certainly a large sum, but for one of the 4 great noble houses, the Heisenbergs, it is not crippling. I had already discussed it with father and obtained his approval. Moreover, this is a loan, not a gift. She will repay every coin eventually. Of course, I have already calculated how. Fiona Sater is a first-rate magic researcher. In the future, she will accomplish several great inventions that will be recorded in magical history. The patent income alone will easily recover the principal. In other words, I have effectively secured the best possible magic researcher at virtually no cost. There is no deal sweeter than this. In Ronzolquia, the most important factor for territorial development is talented people. Resources must be allocated there without hesitation. As the next head of the Heisenberg family, I intend to continue gathering exceptional talent in accordance with the progression of the main story. 1 year passed in the blink of an eye after I began training in magic, and I turned 10. My height has been increasing steadily, and I am now 146 centimeters tall. My viewpoint feels much higher.
It has already been 2 years since I was reincarnated in Ronzolquia. The basics of swordsmanship and magic are complete.
In the original story, Hollow meets the protagonist on April 8th, Holy Calendar 1016, at the entrance ceremony of Redrick Magic Academy. About 5 years remain. I will use that time to its fullest and obtain strength that rivals the protagonist, power that defies the destiny scenario. Now then, time for morning muscle training. Just as I was heading to the garden courtyard, I heard my father's angry voice from outside the room.
Damn it! Why?
What is happening? When I headed to father's private chamber, Orvin was standing before the door. Orvin, has something happened to father? No, he is unchanged. He continues to travel across the country day and night in search of a way to break the curse placed upon Lady Layla. However, progress appears difficult. I listened closely and heard father's voice.
I am sorry, Layla. Why did I let you go alone that day?
Like a broken record, he repeated words of repentance and regret. His mind is clearly at its limit. Orvin, what is today's date? It is May the 1st. I see. So it is already that time. I had been so absorbed in sword and magic training that I forgot. In the original story, the earliest Hollow can die is May, Holy Calendar 1011, this month. If my memory is correct, the weekend Star Reading Festival is the limit. If Mother's curse is not lifted before then, it leads directly into a bad end. About 8 years ago, Layla, the original Hollow's mother, failed in subjugating one of the 4 calamity beasts, Sky Devourer, and was afflicted with an evil curse that left her bedridden. Since then, Father Daphnes has searched tirelessly for a method of dispelling it, exhausting every possible means, but in the end he fails. With no options left, he turns to the heretical cult, the Grand Demon Sect. While the royal capital celebrates the Star Reading Festival, Father secretly contacts a high-ranking cult member and is granted what he is told is a curse-breaking spell. Having lost his sound judgment, Father eagerly uses it. The curse of Sky Devourer disappears, and Mother regains consciousness. However, the spell was not a curse-breaking spell. It was the forbidden secret art of demonification. Transformed into a demon, Layla sets the royal capital she once loved ablaze. As countless people die, she sheds tears of blood while laying waste to everything, and is ultimately struck down by the holy knights who were once her comrades. In her final moments, she regains her human heart and dies apologizing for her sins. Shortly after, Father's connection to the cult is exposed, triggering a condemnation event. The entire Heisenberg family is sentenced to death, and the cold guillotine falls. A tragic ending where no one finds happiness, the condemnation guillotine end. 3 days remain until the Star Rating Festival. Is it time, I wonder? 1 year of swordsmanship, 1 year of magic. It is time to test the culmination of my efforts.
Orvin, I am heading out for a while.
Where to?
The Klein Royal Library.
Not long after being carried in the Heisenberg carriage, I arrived at the Klein Royal Library.
No need to pick me up. I will secure a horse on the way back.
Yes, please take care.
The coachman bowed politely and departed. I turned on my heel and entered the massive structure before me. Incredible. As far as the eye can see, books, books, and more books. This is the largest library in the Klein Kingdom, said to house over 100 million volumes. For a book lover, it is paradise. If I recall correctly, it was this way. Relying on knowledge from the original story, I navigated the maze-like corridors. Here it is. Standing before shelf number 3333, I took a blank white book without a title and whispered the secret phrase.
Found you, little fairy.
In the next instant, white light filled my vision. When I came to, I was standing on a lively main street. Warm sunlight poured down, a pleasant breeze blew, and energetic voices echoed everywhere. Colorful stalls lined both sides: cotton candy, pizza, roast pig, sushi, dragon fruit, tacos, bolognese. An incoherent assortment of foods eagerly bought by crowds. Just like the original, it looks fun. This is the fairy return path. Everyone here except me is an otherworldly being. A giant bipedal raccoon, a paper umbrella with legs, a talkative turtle shell. These uniquely shaped beings are high-order existences known as fairies. Oh my, a human. Rare sight. Did you get lost? Play? Together play? Ignoring the various fairies, I continued along the road. There he is. I found a flamboyant clown with an enormous red nose. He was manning a Western-style food stall, humming while stirring a pan.
Hey, welcome.
What will you have?
The special kids' lunch with caramel pudding. And the flag?
The cutest one you have.
The clown grinned and began cooking with practiced ease.
1 minute later, here you go. On the paper plate were fried shrimp, hamburger steak, octopus sausages, and other elite side dishes. A pink flag was stuck into the chicken rice. A lavish special kids' lunch.
Right this way.
The clown opened the door of an old house behind the stall. Entering with my shoes still on, I ate as I walked through a pitch-dark hallway with my eyes closed. With nothing else to do, I kept eating until it was gone. After burning the disposable chopsticks and plate with magic, something changed. First, the sound of my footsteps shifted from hard clacking wood to soft earth. Then the smell changed, from bustling city air to fresh green grass. Birdsong echoed. Brilliant light shone through my eyelids. When I opened my eyes slowly, a vast natural library spread before me. This is the Forbidden Archive, a repository where books from all over the world gather. The graphics are amazing. It was beautiful in the original, but seeing it in reality is incomparable. As I stood there in awe, a beautiful voice like ringing bells echoed.
My, what an adorable guest.
At the center of the lush library was a table set beneath a parasol. The owner of the voice sat there. The keeper of the Forbidden Archive, the Witch of Knowledge Desire, Entia. She appears about 20 years old, around 165 centimeters tall, slender yet well-toned with a full, prominent chest. Pastel pink long hair, jet black wings sprouting from her lower back, large curled eyes, and pure white smooth skin. She wore a white-off shoulder top that exposed her shoulders and a black long skirt with a deep slit revealing her alluring thigh.
First time meeting you. I am Hollow von Heisenberg.
Of course I know. The son of Daphnis and Layla. A lazy, arrogant, wicked noble.
She closed the book in her hand and smiled softly.
I am Dia, the Witch of Knowledge Desire. Since you have come here, there must be something you wish to know?
Yes.
What I seek is the secret tome of Amur housed within this archive. Written by the ancient high priest Amur, it contains the curse-breaking spell Holy Purifying Light. I know the name, the effect, even the structure of the spell. Yet no matter what I try, I cannot reproduce it. Most likely, it can only be learned after clearing this event. This world is both reality and game.
To receive wisdom from the Witch of Knowledge Desire, you must overcome the witch trial. You understand that much?
Yes.
I'm not very good at holding back. Are you sure you will be fine?
I need no restraint.
I am glad to hear that.
And Tia rose slowly, a sadistic smile on her lips.
You have a good expression. You do not believe for a second that you will lose. I look forward to seeing that confident face twist in pain.
6 black wings extended from her back. You are going all out from the start?
Now then, let us begin the witch trial.